Apologies for the late start there. Alright, now the duel is starting. I'm not too sure what's on. Oh, never mind, it's not a legislative session. We will first be starting with leaders' questions, where the leaders of the different parties will ask lessons to and T-Shot. Starting with Oscar Sullivan, leader of the opposition and the Social Democrats. Oh, there's a deputy who doesn't appear to actually be a Social Democratic duel member, or I'm not too sure who that is. I'm not sure if they are actually a member or not. Still waiting for this member to be ejected. Well, they have indeed been ejected, but I'm not sure what's happening with them. Right, it appears they have been kicked now. And he's now asking his question as, I believe, a car. I'm not going to go investigate that. I believe a car, something has broken into the door. This is again about the programme for government that was released by both the Green Party and Fianna Fáil. Talks about the fact that they have pledged to have Irish copies of every single, I believe, copies of every document that's released in Irish. But they have made 7 documents that have not been converted into Irish. He says that he's had 7 days. He's not even been in as Taoiseach for 7 days, and he's already, breaking his pledges he's made, according to the member. I'm very concerned as to what the sound is. It seems to be coming from the committee rooms. Okay, anyway, we go to Taoiseach now. Oh, and we've already got a point of order in the chamber. And they're requesting the sound be turned off. And I have found the sources. I believe that's Hayden Clark on the O'Neill Express, on top of the door. So if the deputies would like to know where that is, not deputies, the clerks would like to know where that is, it's on top of the door. And I believe JJ has just gone to investigate it. And Eamon McGrath has ordered the O'Neill Express bus to be moved from the estate. The door is just, seems to be in a lot of chaos recently. The response, Mr. Sunday has said, the Taoiseach, he has said that these appointments are rather personal statements other than not government, documents, therefore they won't be in Irish because they're, according to him, not official documents. Now I have Oscar Sullivan raising to ask another question. Doesn't seem to be any people from Labour asking questions, but unfortunately I cannot speak Irish, so I don't know what they're saying here. And I'm not even going to try and make the attempt at saying Irish, because I'm not very good at it, as some of you may know. I believe it's just thank you, but... Oh, and I'm joined by Kamna.
Hello, everybody. I am here in the chamber with Dan today, and I also cannot speak Irish, so I do not know what's going on at this point in time.
I believe it was just a thank you for Mr. Sunday actually saying something, but I would have thought there'd be the go... I can't pronounce that one either, but, the go RAHIB math.
Gorev Mavaga.
That one.
That's basically thank you.
I pronounce it in my head as go Ray Myth Hog or something like that. So yeah, it's not very
It's Irish for what we would say in English, thank you. It's just a few extra words.
I believe Oscar is still talking about the PFG here.
He's asking particularly about the establishment of the... he's asking about religious affairs, actually.
Oh.
Asking about the diocese and the government's seeming inability to establish a proper diocese in the country. But who is that on a point of order?
There's another car on top of the door now.
Oh.
It seems to be a Ferrari, but it's falling off the door now. We can go back.
It doesn't sound like a Ferrari, that's all I'll say.
Definitely looks like one. Oh, we have a deputy from Fianna Fáil here who actually got ejected last session. Leader of the opposition is providing, I believe, one of the. It seems I can't even speak English. I don't know how to pronounce diocese, the religious thing, but
Diocese.
diocese. There we go. And now there's a point of order. Oh no, he sat back down. Miss Sunday has said that negotiations between the government group staff and Vatican have already started. And they seek to establish the Archdiocese of Dublin. Is there another car on top of the door? Oh, and
It's
now
not.
the Clark Truck Company.
The lorry is on top. Oh my goodness.
And now there's a point of order. He says that Oscar did not have. Oh, I believe he didn't have evidence that the didn't have enough resources, so they asked it to be withdrawn or rephrased.
It should also be noted there aren't that many questions for the opposition to ask the government because the government is barely 48 hours old at this point. So there isn't much for them to have done by this point in time to be questioned about. And now Mr. Sunday is up again. The Taoiseach is up again to give a response.
I mean, yeah, it is still a fairly new government that was only formed not that long ago, but
Right.
you know, if we can take anything from the previous Finafal administrations, they were both very quick to get to the point and everything, but this was obviously under True Donald. This is a different figure, but Mr. Sunday was definitely still very heavily involved with Finafal at the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's very clearly known and kind of public knowledge that Mr. Sunday did most of the legislating for that government. In fact, True Donald had said publicly several times that he was more focused on leading and allowing Mr. Sunday and Huey Pierce Long to legislate and to deal with the policy side of things. So Mr. Sunday does have the policy experience to be Taoiseach, but his only ministerial portfolio so far has been as Minister for Justice. So it's going to be interesting to see how he runs the entire government, as well as the Department for Justice, which he is now minister over again. We are looking at Oscar, leader of the opposition, leader of the Social Democrats, talking about the government's combined disapproval rating of 76%. And he says it's concerning given that they have not implemented their policies as yet. I do not know the line of questioning he's going down, but I can assume it's about, well, he said, what's your response to the Irelanders who participated in the poll and are concerned with his style of leadership and the coalition that has been formed? And he's anticipating an argument, and I do believe anticipation is not consistent with the standing orders, but Oscar is making the observation anyway, that Mr. Sunday will touch on political biases in polls. And he is mentioning that it is undeniable that there are people who are concerned with his government. Uh, Interesting.
I mean, the Irish citizens that are. Oh, there's another point of order.
And there is a point of order again.
Yeah, but the Irish citizens the for those who do actually vote in them, a point was actually raised by the Taoiseach that she wants to know who actually votes in these polls, and it's very clear that not everyone does vote in these polls.
And I do think that Oscar is making note of the RTE poll that we put out on, let me see what day this was. RTE did a poll on January 31st, which was before the coalition was formed. So I don't see where Oscar is making his point from to say that the government has a combined disapproval rate of however much percent.
I mean, I would say in defense of the government, it's just like previous, like before they've actually come into office and been in government. This is just stats that we have beforehand. We don't actually have stats from when they've been in. And I still don't think we get accurate results because the government is still, like you said, very early on. But I do think there is some kind of basis to Oscar bringing up these polls because it's very clear that this coalition can be cited as unpopular. I apologise, but there was another car. But back to my point. The Sorry, I apologise. Trying to remember what I was saying now. It completely disturbed my thought there. Yes, having these polls, I do think there is some kind of basis to it, and there are definitely people who aren't happy with how Ireland is currently run. There's lots of people who don't have a lot of faith in the Euro Access because, obviously the terrible, well, as some would cite, terrible run by the Green Party, but yes, a lot of
Yes, but
people were calling for elections.
one government that's not as effective doesn't necessarily mean the entire doll is just tainted and needs to go away.
I think it did make a very big perspective change on how. Yes, I keep getting interrupted. I can't remember what I'm saying. I do think that that there was very because obviously people wanted to re-vote at that point because their largest party was now the most incompetent party in their eyes. So there would definitely
Mm-hmm.
be some thoughts over redistributing the seats, obviously through a general election. But it was very
But
surprising.
I don't think Irish people wanted another election so soon, not even a month after the January election. So I genuinely think that the change of government was the thing that should have happened as opposed to a new election.
I think another thing to mention about this current government is I do think there'd still be some people quite upset with Fianna Fáil, as at the start they were very much against this Green Party government. Then all of a sudden, during one of these RTE debates, suddenly it seemed like they were very willing to work together, even after the
Mm-hmm.
vote of no confidence. Then the dissolution that was tabled, it had turned out that Fianna Fáil had then coalitioned with the Green Party. Oh, we
Well,
have.
we're seeing the CC on his feet. Uh, what is going on? There's a point of order.
Yes, I believe the Taoiseach was questioning the decision the CC made.
Well, it must be noted that decisions from the chair are deemed as final.
Yeah, and you shouldn't
So
be
I
able to
don't
raise a
see
point of
what.
order at them.
Right. I don't see what the.
Oh, and now they're asking the Clark family to be removed. Um, One thing I would say is I believe we're going to see a lot more of this member here, the one sitting behind Mr. Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has been very verbal in his stance with the government of it. Again, I'm not too sure of their username, but I'm very sure that soon enough he will become very well known, as he does seem to be very outspoken. But whether this is good or bad, some people might debate. But he's definitely the type of person I'd say Finna 4 would be looking for.
Absolutely. And let's also just take a minute to mention the lack of opposition today. There are only 4 opposition deputies, as opposed to what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 government deputies today. We are looking at very healthy representation from the government so far in this term, or in this new iteration of the government. It appears that First Lady Corbyn Clark has been asked to leave the precinct of the chamber, and now the Taoiseach is about to give his response, or potentially ask for the question that was asked of him to be repeated.
Something you can definitely say about Finna 4 is they have been very good at being an active party. But we did see the Green Party, they were barely able to fill their benches, but now all of a sudden Finna 4 is in and their benches are always full. At least the front rows are always full. Whereas it was usually in the Green Party, we would have more opposition members than people on the government bench.
And I do think that that goes back to the problem that Neve mentioned, I think it was last week or the week before last, where she doesn't have access to that many people who she could use as deputies. So that was probably a problem with the Green Party in terms of recruitment. And, quite frankly, every party cannot be good at every single thing. Some parties are good on policy, some parties are good on recruitment, some parties are good on campaigning, and such like. So we saw the Green Party's strength was in campaigning, but their weakness was in actually filling their benches and subsequently governing the country.
I think something else very good to bring up. She 15K King or Neve was very still new. Like I said, the first time it was brought up to me that it was trying to phrase it properly. It was brought to my attention that I think it was during a debate a few last term that 15K King or Neve, sorry, I should call it Neve, was only in the server for a few days and was already in the Green Party and very influential. I mean, it was. It's very big to. It's very good to include the fact that she was definitely very new to Ireland and maybe not the best candidate to be even a deputy party leader, less alone party leader, less alone Taoiseach. Um, so it was. She didn't really have the people in the group at that time. There wasn't many people who knew her, and we did see her
Mm-hmm.
desperately try. Like there was definitely a few members that were invited, like Éireann. I believe Harley was also invited by her, but I cannot guarantee these. I'm just going from what I think. But a lot of these members were brought in by her, and she definitely did make the attempt. But it was very clear she just couldn't get the members there.
Mm-hmm.
But she even had to rely on previously disgraced politicians like Gigam 15, which definitely caused a lot of uproar in the community.
Uproar is an understatement.
Yeah, as soon as it happened, the media's companies are already on strike.
It forced the downfall of the entire government. It was definitely not just outroar.
It was kind of like the last thing to send the government toppling, and it was Gigam 15 coming into government, and lots of people felt a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, there have been lots of points of orders raised by this said member. I'm actually going to find a username because I think it's Louis. It's pronounced Louis, or Lewis, but I'm pretty sure it's Louis. Um, this member has definitely been critiquing the leader of the opposition quite a lot. I mean, something to note here is I'm not sure who's deputising for the Labour Party, but the Labour Party have definitely been less involved in the recent days. Only Rachel has been asking questions, really. The deputy is arguing that the the chair is actually allowing the leader of the opposition, Oscar Sullivan, to mislead the chamber, which some people the chair has responded saying that it's not his decision on these political rulings, because it is his duty to remain impartial. However, he is arguing that this is him misleading, Oscar misleading the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been a motion raised to move to minister's questions, and it was seconded. I believe that means the motion must be heard.
Yes, it must. So once a motion is moved and seconded, then it is technically in the discretion of the CC to hear it or not. But in most cases, they do, especially when it comes to question time, because there is a time limit on leaders' questions, teachers' questions, and ministers' questions in order to keep the session within the hour that is set for it. So we are now trying to move on to Taoiseach's questions, which would be questions from anyone to the Taoiseach.
I
Or are there any
think
other than party leaders?
I think he won't be moving to minister's questions just yet, as there was a question. The leader of the opposition felt his question had been unanswered, so the Taoiseach is being allowed the opportunity to respond. For I do believe they'll be moving.
Mm-hmm.
The Taoiseach is arguing that Oscar Sullivan is just repeating himself, which some people may agree or disagree with, but definitely seems to be that they do want to move to minister's questions at this time. And Cece has said that we will be moving on. It does seem that Wilbur Falk, he has expressed that his discontent with the chair, I believe. Not directly, but
Okay, I think we're on minister's questions now because the minister for business is on his feet to apparently respond to a question.
I didn't actually see the question, unfortunately. But
Oh no, wait. The CC is making it clear this is questions to the Taoiseach. So why is the minister for business
this is very
unless he's giving an
confusing.
answer? This is.
Oh, I believe this is one of those questions where the minister asks a question in favour of the government and gets them to respond.
Well, if a question was to come from the government benches, then it would come from the backbench and not necessarily from the minister, especially a minister as senior as the Minister for Business, who would have a direct line to the rest of the cabinet to have any questions that he wishes answered. So I'm trying to figure out what he's on about at this point.
Like I said, I do think it's just a example of ministers rising, asking questions that are in favour of the government. It's more of like a statement than really a question. It allows the Taoiseach to give a statement about it. That's just personally what I think. Maybe it's not the case, but. Oh, Corbin Clark is asking to come up and speak. No, I would like to actually ask why she sits up in the team so much.
You know what? I've been kicked out the door, okay? And I think it's disgusting.
But I believe you were aiding in inserting cars on top of the door.
No, that was not me. That was not me. That was not.
Then who was it?
I'm not naming names because I'm not a grass, but it was not me. I only flew up to see what the car was because I was very interested in the cars.
I mean, Eamon
But
McGrath is here, so I would think
Eamon McGrath is here. Well, he knows fully well I did not drive those cars. And he chucked me out because I threw a snowball in the wrong direction. And I said, well, the snowball glitched.
Yeah, but why were you throwing a snowball in the middle of the session anyway?
I threw a snowball at Andrew, my son.
Then have a snowball fight outside the door.
I was trying to, but then he moved his chair and he sat in the middle of the door. So I couldn't really. But I did not aim it at any other TDs. I swear to God. I swear that right now. I'll do a cross on my chest. I did not swear. I swear to God, I did not hit him. I did not hit anyone on purpose besides my own son, Andrew.
I would like to point out, I believe something that would be classed controversial in the chair's rulings is he has actually allowed quite a few of the government deputies to ask questions to Taoiseach in favour of the Leader of the Opposition, which I do believe Leader of the Opposition does get some kind of, priority, but they are bringing up Corbyn at this moment.
Okay, it appears that Eamon McGrath is trying to seek order over the chamber. What is happening behind?
There seems to be a
Someone
lot
is.
of...
There is some commotion.
Who's throwing the shurikens around? Oh my God! It's Victoria.
Is it?
Yeah, she keeps throwing around ninja stars, and she's holding them right now.
Oh well, it is.
She's throwing one at the deputy, raising a point of order, to get her removed. Oh,
I believe I believe this particular deputy is trying to see how far he can go with the CC in terms of what he can say in the chamber, and is saying that the Cathaoirleach of Sinead Éireann is a DEI hire, and it appears that she has gone down to him with a gun or some weapon of some sort. And I don't understand why this is happening. This is supposed to be a question session. But now he has asked the Cathaoirleach to leave the chamber, and she vaporized the deputy for Munster. My goodness.
This is not how I'd expect the duel to be
This,
run.
this is live TV, folks.
I mean, I'm sorry for anything that may be considered graphic and Hayden Clark, I believe that's Hayden, has just killed 2 members in the duel. This is, potentially not the greatest thing. Okay, Ian McGrath is now addressing the chamber, and Corbin Clark is actually back in the duel. Well, I believe the Tanner store is looking to come up. I've just noticed all some of the Green Party members have some kind of watermark in the bottom left of their profile pictures.
Okay, so the CCS said that he is, if the chamber continues with this disorder, he will have no choice but to suspend, and that's not necessarily something he's willing to do.
I mean, it is not in the best interest to actually have the duel suspended, but I will call up Anne Tannishaw for just a small amount of time, just to hear what they have to say. Okay, I think you are with us.
The First Lady, she's just given one of my TD cold. He's actually sneezing. Erin is literally having to give him tissues. The snowball was directly aimed at him whilst he was trying to, quiet things down. Now, he actually got told off for her mistake. But, they're back in the chamber. It seems to be going well. It's just chaos in here. Chaos, chaos, chaos.
Yeah, I can definitely see it getting very chaotic. Do you think that Eamon is handling it well?
No. No.
Oh, I think Corbin
No.
Club wants to defend themselves. I mean, I'll be happy to entertain it whilst the duel is currently in shambles.
She also blamed us for chucking.
Hello, Bo.
No, she chucked.
Hi.
She was blaming us for chucking bees at her. Like, oh no.
You chucked bees at me at the seals. I remember because you killed me and you stayed alive. I remember it fully. So you don't go and fucking blab your. Oh, sorry,
Right, can you
RT,
not swear,
forgot.
please?
Beep.
Wow.
Sorry. I rebuke.
Get it off.
No. You flung bees at me at the seals. I remember, and you killed me. And I'm the photographer. You killed the photographer. That's not right.
I mean, you should have seen them pictures of me. They were hideous.
Yeah, exactly, because you wouldn't stop speaking and it was very inconvenient.
Well, I was elected to sit in this chair. You weren't, so.
Oh, hold
Okay,
on.
but I'm the
there is-
photographer.
So there is something very important happening here.
The doll has been suspended.
Yeah. I mean, I believe the deputy for Munster was just calling the.
Where is she?
Catherley? I cannot pronounce it.
Categorically, is it not?
Victoria Cullen, I'm sorry, the door is way too loud. I believe they were calling Victoria a old hag, which isn't the nicest thing to be saying, but
truth, honesty is the best policy.
That's not very nice to call Vic, is it, though?
Well, she is quite old, but she is.
Yeah, but that's not nice. That's not very nice, is it?
I'm not calling her grandma. I'm just saying that she is.
Yeah, but she is grandma. You don't call her an old hag. That's very rude. That's very disrespectful, and you should know that.
Chucking a snowball at a TD.
Okay, it wasn't directed at the TD. It was directed at my son Andrew.
It doesn't matter. It was unnecessary.
We all know.
We didn't need snowballs going around the chamber.
Okay, well, the first 3 snowballs directed at Andrew went to Andrew, so I don't know what happened there,
Well, Corbin won't be joining the Irish Defence Forces anytime.
That's not true. I joined months ago.
If she starts shooting a sniper, she might start shooting the team instead of the threat.
I did not shoot the team. You can go and research that. I've never shot anyone on my own team. Thank you very much.
I find that hard to believe.
I
You
believe
can
some
go and check the
people's-
records.
I think some people's admin's hair should be removed, considering
I've
what's just happening.
I've just looked at the records. It says Corbin shot someone in the leg.
That is not true. That is not true. You
I had
know
to
it's
ask,
not
where-
true.
Where are these records
Okay, wait.
from?
Give me a moment. Give me a moment. The CC is reconvening the sitting, so the Dáil is going to go back into session. And we do have Neve Clark, former Taoiseach and now Minister of State for
Prisons.
Prisons and Internment, about to come on the stage. Give me a minute. Boom.
I would like to.
Hello.
Is it me?
No, please. Hey,
No, royalties, Bo.
could you every time you come on, someone, people, just stop. Don't let us get copyright strikes.
I
Thank you.
think if you sing it yourself, you're fine. It's just if you start
I
playing
need an
audio.
intro.
So. I think
Um,
sing your own cover because the song lyrics itself isn't
Yeah.
really
Don't
copyrighted.
tease me, Dan.
What?
Wow, have we got a lot to unpack? Yes, we do. There is so much coming in terms of executions, prisons, and so much more. You're going to be all astonished. We're going to be killing left, right, and center, getting rid of these dirty criminals from our nation. It's absolutely going to be fantastic. And I'd just like to say also that I am the first married lesbian woman to sit on the bench of this Dáil, and I have been newlywed to Éireann, who sat on my left.
Oh, lovely. So Erin. Oh right, never mind.
Yeah, Patriot.
Sorry, but that's lovely for you. I hope you're having a
you.
very nice. You had a nice wedding. However,
Believe me, we are.
I did
There has
need
been a
to-
motion. There is a motion to adjourn that Dáil is considering. Just to jump in here, and
Who did it?
we did not see, but apparently there is now a vote all on the motion to adjourn.
and this is quite big. I mean, I'm not sure whether it will adjourn. This is a very big motion to be raising, especially during like.
And I
halfway
am
through the
seeing
session.
several deputies going into the Neil voting
Oh, wow.
lobby. So it appears that the Dáil is probably not going to adjourn.
Yeah,
17 minutes
Taoiseach has actually gone into.
Well, I can proudly say I'm in the tar.
Well, I'm in the nil.
Me and Erin, you know,
Both
Yeah.
sound of solidarity.
we are
I
very
just want to go home.
the double shift. We're already doing a job, and tonight, you know, we've got to go home. We've got to feed the kids. We've got to look after.
Wait, you
So
have kids?
Well, of course we do. You know, we are
Right.
TD. We are
Um,
financial. Oh no, here she goes.
they are- It appears the votes have been counted, and they are. There are 10 members to return to the division lobbies. They apparently didn't count the votes.
We all ran out.
I would like to say I'm only allowing these conversations because the duel is currently very much in disarray at the moment. So I'd just like for things to get normalised.
And just
back to
for
normal.
those at home to know, when you are in the chamber as a deputy, you are told when to go for the vote all, and there's normally a timer of like 15 to 20 seconds, and then you are frozen in the room so no one leaves while the votes are being counted, and then you are told when to return after the votes have been counted. Continue.
Well, you
we have the RTE recognises the presence of our president, Killian Clark.
Hi.
All rise for a Schulze, Killian Clark.
It's not pronounced like that.
Oh,
actually, so-
say, can you see?
I
That's
have
the
been
wrong
told.
accent.
I have been told by
Yeah.
a very
Come
reliable
on.
source. If those of you who are not in the sitting could please turn your eyes to general chat. I have been told
They have been turned.
that it's happening again, and that
want
this
our
legislature is trying to suppress
They're suppressing
So-
Louis. It's happened again. He's been ejected.
Louis-
He's been,
Louis- I think Louis was ejected from the chamber again. I
They
can't
dissolved the
confirm
Dáil
that,
and
but
blamed it on him. It was absolutely atrocious, to be frank.
Here.
Okay, I do have Antisha about to come on the stage. Give
Oh.
me a second. Let me bring him up.
Patreon.
so we have a lot of people up here. I will be letting Neve down. Thank you.
No, we need to keep Neve. We need to keep Neve.
Right, okay. We have
And
lots of
now
people
on
up here.
stage
Then.
we have the Taoiseach, Mr. Sunday.
Oh,
It appears Deputy Prime Minister was not ejected. Okay.
Oh.
So where is he?
You know, he's a bit
He's a very contemplative, intelligent man. He's probably off doing something important.
So on the
Actually,
vote to adjourn, it's 7-0, 3 ta,
So
and
very,
apparently no abstentions. So the Dáil is not adjourning. They will probably end the session with the 14 minutes they have left. Yes. But Mr. Sunday, in the meantime, tell us about that deputy who sat behind you, Lewis. Why was he making remarks about the Cahirla?
Because the Cahirloch was coming down and attempting to murder everyone. She already murdered him once, and she was trying to. No, I think she did like 2 or 3 times.
The
And
only
she
Pause,
murdered
hold on.
our.
Taoiseach, are you saying that he was acting in self-defense? He was using free speech, and they suppressed him. Is that what you're saying?
You know what? I wouldn't have used those words, but that's exactly what has happened.
I think it all has a level of, I guess, formality, which, I mean, I do believe that calling the I can't pronounce it, but calling Victorian old hag wasn't probably the best idea, but her killing
it was not.
Wasn't
I
the best
actually,
idea either.
upon hearing that, I actually side with him. He's right on this one.
True. She's got.
So it is clear that the Minister for Business is trying to launch a parliamentary inquiry into the efficiency of the Dáil through a motion.
I think the
and I'm trying to wonder why that motion is necessary at this point in time. He'd have to do that in potentially a resolution.
I think we're seeing a Department of Government Efficiency popping up soon.
Elon Musk.
Don't call that man's name on my
We already
screen.
have one. It's the Minister of State for Prisons and Internment.
Very true.
They call me the all-rounder. I'm the chief whip. I'm the government spokesperson. You know, I do
The very round.
everything.
Well, there is a question,
Yeah,
Mr. Senate, I do have. Tell us more. What's the purpose of the Minister for Prisons and Internment? Are you trying to have a prison game built?
It's in the name.
Yeah, we are going to have a prison. We're going to have death row, and we're going to need a warden. And Neve here, I have full faith in her ability to punish people. I think she'll make a great Minister of State for Prisons and Internment.
They're calling me the governor, and I'm getting myself a big chain of keys so I can march down the halls at the prison. And we will be introducing death penalties, and they will be enforced. And, you know, it will be used as both a deterrent and as a punishment for those.
How will you enforce the death penalty given Roblox terms of service?
You know, terms of service, they're just put in place to limit our creativity. So it's our job to find a way around them.
Yeah, but the terms of service are things you agree to every time you open the platform on any of your...
Well, yes, but the Irish Constitution is my Bible, so
here.
The only thing I will be adhering to. And you know, if Roblox doesn't want us as people to punish murderers and terrorists, then well, isn't that against their terms of service as well? So,
well, when you quote unquote kill somebody, they just respawn. It's not as if the character dies permanently.
Well, we are aware of the you know, the extent that roleplay can span to, and we are thinking of ways to overcome this, and we've discussed you know, many initiatives that will be, you know, introduced to ensure that those murdered remain dead, because it is of utmost importance to safeguard our, you know, our citizens from these evil, you know, specimens, and I think that's what the death penalty aims to do.
So when do we expect to see legislation from either you or Mr. Sunday as Minister for Justice in regard to criminal justice reform? Because what you're telling us is essentially criminal justice reform.
So
I actually need to interrupt here, because speaking of criminal justice, I've been told by a very unreliable / reliable source, depending on the day of the week, that Mr. Sunday is under Garda investigation for paying voters in the October election campaign.
Shut it all down. Shut it down.
RTE can do with that whatever it likes.
Who said this? Can you name names?
No, I'm not naming names, you
You
stupid
can't
bitch.
expose whistleblowers. Killian, you're first for the guillotine. Anyways, me and Mr. Sunday are in the midst of, writing legislation and, discussing general ideas on how to introduce these plans efficiently and effectively. Because ultimately, this scheme for public for execution and jailing is to protect our community, and it is to, rid Ireland of this disease that is criminals and people that only aim to cause chaos and disarray.
Sorry,
But what are the kinds of crimes that you would envision attracting the penalty of death?
Those bastards in Munster who are trying to break away.
True.
That Ashton Kutcher one or
terrorism.
Ashton Crawshaw, that Frank Carucci one, they're all getting hung up high. No one is taking Munster away from us.
And let me tell you now, if anyone aims to protest or to, to block this plan that will eradicate Ireland of these disruptive and chaotic creatures, they will be giggled and they will be silenced. And they also too will be hung high from Leinster House.
So are you telling us live on air that you're willing to abridge people's constitutional rights if they disagree with what you're trying to do?
If they stand with the law, well, the soon-to-be law, then they will face the law.
Sorry, Niamh,
I think you've misinterpreted my words a bit. I was not being satirical. I have been told that the Taoiseach is under Garda investigation. I don't know if
you just said it was from an unreliable source.
Yeah,
I was joking about that. It is actually a reliable source.
It's not a place to joke.
They have told me you're not a place to joke. You pretend to be Jewish. You can't say not a place to joke when you pretend to be Jewish.
Right, these are very serious allegations.
I've been legitimately informed that Mr. Sunday is under Garda investigation. I didn't want to deliver that news. I think Mr. Sunday is a patriot and he's the victim of a political witch hunt, but it is a legitimate investigation.
Before we do speak on that, I need to ask one more question regarding the death penalty. Will it work how, when you deport someone, and if so, if it does, where they're forced to leave the service of Ireland and everything, will that mean they can never come back? Because sometimes these deportations are overturned.
Well, just as in real life, death penalty is used for the most severe crimes and for crimes that are seen as, unforgivable. So the crimes of Gigam, which the Irish people clearly, hate so much, which I was unaware of course, that would be something that would be worthy of the death penalty. Because if the Irish public and the justice system altogether decide that there is no coming back from that, there's no redemption, then there's no point in you, staying alive. So at that point, when we have nowhere else to turn, it is to chop the head off. That's that, really.
Here.
Right, I see. Now regarding Mr. Sunday is currently speaking in a duel, but after that I will. Right, Mr. Sunday, you obviously you've now heard of these apparent investigation by the Garda. Do you have any information on this? If you want to tell RTE, is this true?
I haven't heard a single thing about this. No briefs have been sent forward to the director of political prosecutions, like Brian, saying maybe Brian was right. It does all seem to be a big witch hunt right now. But
we must stop political witch hunt.
It's unfortunate, but we cannot trust the word of the president these days, and that's a fact. Sometimes untruths come out, and we have to dig through the dirt to find the real truth underneath.
Just as Adam and Eve did, we must stamp on this snake.
The Corn Curl is currently apologising for, fashion. It's low of quality and low of standards.
Sorry, I'm the one presenting this, but I think a motion to adjourn has been called as well.
Well, Eamon's removed his robes, so He's not speaking.
Deserved, very deserved. You don't come after Luigi Middleton like that. He's a patriot. In fact, some might say the most. I also was looking at the Dáil records in the Oireachtas channel, and I need to actually pull up the specific quote here because it was really something to be admired. Where is it? From Louis G. Middleton, and he said something like, "Chair." No. We'll say.
So I just want to say, I'm not too sure what's happening with the chair right now, but I think he's apologising for the absolute terror the Dáil has caused.
Sorry, I have the quote now. Oscar Sullivan says to Luigi Middleton, "Respect the chair, buddy," and Deputy Luigi Middleton says, "Respect the chair you're sitting on, Oscar, and lose a few pounds." So that's
here. And you know what? I think it should be in our law to persecute those who put a strain on both the public health system and infrastructure. Transport.
You can't do that. You can't just say strain on the public health system and line up the fatties.
Those that yes, we can. Those who decide to disrespect the life that God gave them, that's entirely disgusting. And being fat is not a protected characteristic.
So this is a very serious thing to be saying on live air, that you're preventing the equalities of some.
Everything is serious. I think it's honestly an unrealistic outview to view all as equal, because unfortunately having political systems therefore makes us not equal, so
Killian, I have actually had a question. I think I can say who this is. Brian has asked if you will be pardoning him.
No.
Absolutely not.
No,
I think I'm going to give way to my head of government. My head of government, my Taoiseach, to answer this question for me.
Mr. Sunday.
So I get to decide if you pardon him?
No. I think you should say. I think you should say what you think I would say.
Advise him publicly.
Yeah. You actually, that's your main role, really, isn't it? Constitutionally speaking, you should be my advisor right now. Do I pardon Brian?
Well, Brian has contributed to this group in a lot of ways.
The Dáil has adjourned for the evening.
And he has an amazing podcast going on right now, and I think it would be a real shame for him to lose this opportunity, and for Ireland to lose the opportunity to listen to him bi-weekly talk about important and riveting stuff. I mean, it would actually affect our democracy if he was prosecuted, because we wouldn't get the same level of free speech and expression that Brian is now giving us via his podcast. So I think, pardon the poor guy.
Wow. You're such a lovely human being.
I do actually have something to raise just before we end the stream here. First, to thank everyone for coming up. Neve, Bo, and Mr. Sunday, thank you all for coming up, and a special thank you to the President for also joining us today. I would like to also mention that RTE is still hosting the British version of Deal or No Deal. If you want to learn more, just go to the RTE channel and check there. You can become a contestant. We're also looking for a cameraman for it, or camerawoman. I don't discriminate. But if you want to be a contestant or you want to be a camera person, just drop me a DM for camera person, or sorry, I'm waffling so much now. Or if you want to be a contestant, fill out the form. But anyway, other than that, thank you for watching the show.
And
tonight.
as well, before you go, our next broadcasts will be tomorrow for the legislative session, where there will be, among other things, a new broadcasting act which would reconstitute the RTE. And as well, on Sunday, our President Killian Clark will be playing against Bosnia and the Netherlands on a special World Leaders edition of Wheel of Fortune. So please join us for that. And with that, we will say good evening from RTE.
I just need to point out one more thing. Louis has just sent me a DM saying that, I quote, "Eamon cannot control the Dáil effectively and requires a vote of confidence." So I guess we're leaving you all with that.
Lord.
thank you for watching our stream today. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and have a wonderful night. Oh, Killian's gone as well. But yes, I thank you all for tuning in and coming to watch, and have a wonderful rest of your evening and a good night.